So I spend all the year working on the farm, harvest it, wash it, dry it. But the world market is so powerful that they will tell you Africa, the fixed prices for Africa's raw materials, take it or leave it. Do you understand what I mean? Now, for example, they buy, maybe you'll be lucky for them to buy a kilo of coffee at $1. Or let's say, yeah, $1. Now, a kilo is 1,000 grams. You go to the supermarket after, you are the cocoa farmer, you want to drink coffee. You buy this 10 grams of coffee for $1. There's only one difference, that is they roasted it and processed it into you to drink. Look at the difference. Look at the disparity. And they say, oh yes, Gambia, if you are producing coffee, because this country is accepting it, you also have to sell your coffee at 5%. And that is why buyers of African raw materials are wealthier than African producers of raw materials. And the status quo doesn't seem to change because nobody is challenging them. We take it for a fact that, oh, Gambia accepted this, so I may as well accept it. I have seen a country where there are mineral resources. They have given an exploration license. And those are the countries where their leaders would never be.
50 years is a long time.
Their leaders will never be criticized. But no matter what they do, they are not corrupt, they are the Democrats, despite the fact that people are starving and dying in boats. These are the Democrats, these are all the leaders of Africa. So, my dear, the solution to this is, the problem is with the African leaders, and so you should also be the solution. Let us work together. Africa should be united. You speak with one voice, the same way the European colonialists are speaking with one voice. If you are denied a visa today in one to enter one former colonial empire, you will not go anywhere else. And today, every African is subject to fingerprinting, as if all Africans are criminals. Now, who gave them the visa in the first place to come to Africa? The world is 3 days. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Now, yesterday, they were coming to Africa, and we were made to believe, to clap for them, that, oh, yes, we are part of them. They never required a visa. Today, we require a visa. Not only a visa, but also to buy an air ticket, you pay insurance. Yes. At the same time, your fingerprints are taken out as if you are a criminal. You know, Europeans are not required, even if they are not part of the European Union, they are not required to be fingerprinted.
So do you reckon with all the Chinese coming into Africa, the whole buzz of Africa Rising, what you have just discussed today, this is the right time that Africa should really stand on its 2 feet? And if so, how do we as Africans tell our story of this positivity to counter the backlash that it always receives? Specifically, for example, in your case, there's so many positive things that come out of the Gambia. And I think this is probably where my brother, you know, the broadcasting stations, the television, the newspapers need to be telling that story, that me who is living in London, I should know about these things. But luckily I'm in the media, so at least I have an idea of what happens, the positive stories of the Gambia. But my question is, how do we... How are you going to manage to counter the backlash that comes with all this that always kind of holds us back? So this story of growth is not there. Africa Rising, yes, you hear it when it's on CNN, it becomes news story. You've made an announcement in a way that I look at it differently, you know, today. But if you go on the BBC, Reuters, the question of the Gambia has withdrawn from the Commonwealth, to them it's a negative story. So how do we as Africans project this Africa Rising story to counter this persistent backlash? They're going to talk about the human rights we've talked about. That's what they'll pick on. They'll talk about the physical, the big taboo subject of gay rights in the Gambia. It's all those things. How do we counter? How can you counter that? Because it's very big that the story doesn't get lost in the negativity that comes from the Western media.
Very simply, I believe in God. I put my faith in the Almighty Allah. And as long as I know that what I'm doing is right, I fear nobody. I'm used to this negativity from 1994 to date. But would that make me back down from my stance to defend Africa, to defend our interests, and to defend our independence? I will never back down. You see, there is a proverb in our local parlance that your enemy, even if you dance in the water, he's going to complain that you're raising a lot of dust and making him cough. Do you understand? So, when you listen to the tone of the BBC, they say we didn't tell anybody. Do you have to tell anybody? So we should have taken permission from somebody, inform him ahead of time, and he will advise us whether we should do it or not. That is what forced them was. Do you understand? And it's not only the Gambia. Every African government or leader is we are not independent. We are just colonies. And we must take permission from the master before we do anything else. And so it happens that, there's this Jama who doesn't want to be anybody's servant. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Now, the idea of, the Gambia is benefiting from the Commonwealth, this and that and that. Let them tell us how much we've benefited. And let them also tell the true story, how much Gambia is contributing to the Commonwealth annually. Compared to what we get from the Commonwealth, it doesn't balance. Do you understand? If I have to give you, let's say, 8 million for an institution that belongs to both of us, or for a business, and every year what I get from annually 8 million, and annually what I get from it is less than $1 million. Who is benefiting and who is losing? So, how do we counter that? We also have a saying that if the dogs are barking in a village at night, and you are the head of a household or a compound head, and you want to know what each dog is barking about, in the morning the dogs go to sleep because they have nothing to do, and you realize that you cannot go do anything to go and feed your family, or you cannot go to the farm because you are sleepy. So, if you really want to do something positive, you have to ignore certain things. After all, who am I to believe that everybody will love? When the same people that are saying all sort of bad things about me are the same people that today deny God. You are more likely to be arrested for worshipping God than for kissing another woman. Now, be it in the Quran, be it in the Bible, God said that that's forbidden to humanity. And they said that's legal. In a particular Western country, you wear any symbol of a religion in public, you are prosecuted for that. That's not a violation of human rights. Freedom of worship is not a human right. But freedom of denying God and abominable action, that is a man sleeping with a man, that's a human right. What I'm saying is, for them it's okay. For me it's not okay. Because we Africans don't know that. And who the hell are they to tell us that we should accept whatever they think they prescribe to be a human right? Who are they? The only authority is God. God has prescribed how we should live in this world for Muslims and Christians. For the Christians, we have the Holy Bible, and for the Muslims, we have the Quran. So what is taboo and what is not taboo? What is a right and what is not a right?